and welcome to PalaceFanTV for our Man United preview video. And with me is a Man United fan, obviously. It's Sam from UnitedPeoplesTV. How you doing?
Nice to see you, Jim.
Nice to see you too. Okay, so it's Palace United on Saturday.
Yes, it is.
What I'm interested though is how are United fans feeling about Louis van Gaal now? Because he's been there just over a season.
Yeah.
Bit of a transition season last season, looking stronger now.
Yeah.
United fans happy with him, the way he plays? The way he plays has been criticised a little bit for being a bit boring.
No, I don't think it's boring. I think there are questions that can be asked of him. I think he makes some strange tactical decisions. Substitutions have been criticised fairly, but United have conceded 1 goal at home in the Premier League this season. There's no arguing with that. Mm-hmm. His record against the top 6, aside from that Arsenal humiliation, has been fantastic. It was very frustrating at the weekend for the derby. We're sitting there going, why in God's earth is Martial on the left and Rooney playing 90 minutes? I think that is the main question about Van Gaal right now.
So what is the deal with Rooney? Because he was like the worst player on the pitch during the derby. What's going on?
Rooney turned 30 on Saturday. I don't know whether that's a turning point.
Is that a midlife crisis?
He's been having a midlife crisis for about 18 months. Yeah. Rooney has been out of form for a long time. Long gone are the days where Rooney is going to be scoring 20, 30 a season, looking like a street footballer, looking like he loves playing football. Rooney doesn't look like he loves his football anymore. I think he loves being a captain. From what I can tell is all the players love Rooney as captain. What he does off the pitch is working for them. Van Gaal seems to love him as well. But Rooney's just not playing football at the moment. I mean, he was awful against City. And I think any other player that didn't have the armband around his arm would have been shipped off at half-time.
So will he be dropped for Saturday? And if not, or if so, who's going to be United's main threats to Palace?
No, he won't be dropped. This is what's frustrating us the most. And it's so confusing with Van Gaal because you're saying, oh, yeah, he's pandering to Rooney, he's the captain. But last season, when he came in, Van Persie was his golden boy. And he shipped Van Persie out ruthlessly, cold, said, you're out, you're not good enough.
You've seen the videos of him in Turkey.
Oh, he looks like a depressed child that got the wrong toy at Christmas. He's not having a good time. But Van Gaal wasn't scared to get rid of his golden boy from the World Cup, just saying, sorry, Robin, you passed it. He can't be looking at Rooney and going, oh, he's just having a blip. Consistently, Rooney is playing 3 out of 10. And it is so worrying. And it's hindering us. The most frustrating thing is that we had a 0-0 against City at the weekend. If Martial had played in the centre against Company, I'm convinced we would have scored. He was so dangerous, and I think by far and away he's going to be our main threat against you. And I'm just praying to the football gods up there that Rooney is either dropped or pushed into that number 10 role to let Martial go up front, because as much as it's hurting the team with Rooney playing bad, he's really holding Martial back. He had 3 goals in 2 games in his first 2 starts we played up front. He's now played out wide a few games and he hasn't scored. Coincidence? I don't think so.
See, the thing with Pardew is with Palace players that aren't playing well, like Zaha, he's not afraid to drop them. He's dropped him a few times, brought him on later on in games, trying to sort of give him that G up to play well. Do you think Wilf, obviously ex-Man United player, could he be the person that could hurt United? And where are the areas that Palace need to really sort of focus on?
I think your danger always comes with Lassie and Zaha. If you can feed them and they can go running one-on-one against Darmian and Rojo, that's probably going to be your strong point. I would say Rojo was probably our best player against Man City. Nobody expected it. Looking at the team sheet, we'd say Rojo and Valencia were...
Is he any good? Because I'm not convinced by him.
Rojo is just as much as a wing can be hot and cold, he's hot and cold, which he shouldn't be. He should be a disciplined defender that always gives at least 6 out of 10. But he seems to give 8 out of 10. But then Moscow in the Champions League away, CSKA, because he previously played for Spartak Moscow, and CSKA isolated him and exposed him. And he got a yellow card early on, and then from then on he was like, no, I'm not making a tackle.
So is that someone that Zaha could, if Zaha plays,
if I was Adam
potentially get
If I was Adam Pardew, I would say, look, just kick the ball behind Rojo and run behind him, because pace isn't the best thing in the world. I think his recovery is very good. I think going forward he's very dangerous. His crossing is wicked. I would say if he has a weakness, I would say if you're playing it cleverly and you're going for the weak points, you should be isolating our fullbacks and trying to get them away from. Because if you don't run fast enough, Schneider will be there to cover. And once you got doubled up, we should be cool, because then you got Smalling and you got Jones behind.
Who are playing very well.
Who are playing very well. But I think your strength is always, as far as I'm looking from a non-fan's perspective, your strength has definitely been in your
Unfortunately, those other players are not particularly playing very well.
Well,
right
that's
now.
exactly what I want to hear, Jim. That is the best news of the week.
To step up, but then game against United, Selhurst, perfect game for them to refine their form potentially. How do you think it's going to go in terms of game flow, and what do you think the result's going to be?
I think game flow. I think it's going to be very cagey. I think United's are looking a bit cumbersome in attack, and I think if we can just change it to be Martial up front, that's going to really transform us. Maybe we're going to bring Memphis Depay back into it, because he's, you know how you be saying that Rooney can't be dropped. He's dropped Memphis, and Memphis is a Dutch lad that he brought over himself. He's not afraid to drop players, but for some reason, Rooney's not getting dropped, and I'm going to keep banging the drum. But Louis, if you're watching, please just give Rooney some time on the bench, play Martial up front, and play Herrera behind him.
I don't know if Louis van Gaal is watching PalaceFanTV, but if you are, hello.
please just watch this.
So, score prediction?
Score prediction. I think it's going to be a 1-goal game either way. I think if Kabay can nail his set-piece delivery, you could score from a set-piece. It doesn't matter how good a team is. You can always get a nick off a header. You've got some tall players. That it can be. United could be playing incredibly well, and then you just nick it with a crap set-piece. That can always happen. And he scored a banging free kick against us when he played for Newcastle. Remember that one?
Yeah.
So I think it very much depends on whether Kabay can step up to the plate with his set-piece delivery. I think you can't predict it. You can't predict Palacio or Zaha, can you?
We need them to have a good game.
Depends who turns up. I think they should be up for a game like that, because you're at home. It's the one thing I like about Selhurst Park is your fans are always up for it.
Yeah.
Really good atmosphere all the time, and that should help for it. It's Halloween, so it's scary football, all that jazz. But
all that,
not this going to help. But United are going to be in fancy dress with the Cantona masks, and I think that'll get the fans even more boiled up.
It will. Obviously, there's a lot of history there between that, and Palace fans do not enjoy that at all. That's a discussion for another video. But yeah, it's going to be a decent atmosphere.
I think United should win. I think the fact that you're going into it in a little bit of a downturn in form, United are going into it, I wouldn't say we're in form, but we're in very difficult to beat form, aside from the Arsenal game, which is a distant memory. But I think coming out from an away game against Everton, an away game against Moscow, and a home game against City, undefeated, going into a game should give a team confidence. Yeah. So I think that we should be winning it, but
you never know.
For me, it depends on where Martial plays. Play him out on the left. I mean, it depends. I'm not sure who your left back's going to be. Is it left back? No, right. Sorry, your right back.
Potentially Joel Ward back from injury. If not, Mariappa or Kelly. All competent defenders, but obviously not the greatest in the Premier League.
I think Martial had to be like double, triple marked by City, and they still got through. So he's electric, and he's shown the sort of consistency that nobody would have expected from a 19-year-old. I think that's what surprised people the most. Not that he's got that match-winning capability, but that he's showing it every game. Yeah. So I think a lot of our eggs are in Martial's basket. If you can contain him, which I don't think you can, and it all depends on where Louis wants to play Anthony.
He's not watching.
He should be watching. I'm looking at the camera as if it's Louis.
Good stuff. Well, potentially a chance for Palace to win, though. It's going to be a close game.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a very tight. I don't think there's going to be goals galore. I think it'll be a 1-goal either way.
Yeah.
I don't know where it's going to go, though.
There you go. Good. Well, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for chatting to me, mate.
Thanks for watching, Palace fans. Don't forget to subscribe. Comment below. How do you think the game's going to go? Will Wolf play? Will he be on form? Can Palace nick a result in this one? Don't forget to follow us. We'll see. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Snapchat as well for all our away day updates as well on those. We're doing that for Man City. And we'll see you again soon. Cheers.